Okay, so some people, well, not really many, have been asking me, how do you do shading in your drawings? And it's actually quite simple. All you really need is just paint.net or anything that supports layers. You know, if you don't know what layers are, just go look it up. Go Google like layers image or something, and basically all you need is a program that supports image layers like these, um, and Gaussian blur. Anyway, so for shading, uh, it's actually quite easy to do when you really get used to it. But here's the basic rundown. Basically, I'm going to like draw an object. There are two kinds of shading you can do. There's which I occasionally do some of these. Basically, I'm going to draw a ball here. Now, let's color this ball like red, like a red or something. A nice bright red here. And then, basically, let's actually lower the saturation. There, that's okay-ish. Basically, I'm using paint.net for this, obviously, so take the magic wand, you select that red part, you take out the paintbrush, and make your color darker and a bit more saturated. This is like a cartoony kind of shading style. Basically, darker colors are more like shaded colors are more saturated. Whoops, not Control X. I'm gonna try and get some light coming from up top, and oh, you might want to lower the tolerance as well. Okay, there, we got that. Then select that red again with the eyedropper, color picker, as some people like to call it. Except this time, make the color lower saturated and just higher in value. And then you want to kind of draw a little shiny thing there. Now, that's a basic kind of thing. If you want, you can make another layer, and then like you can copy the selection you have here, and then copy it onto another layer, and then blur that for a bit more of a realistic style. And then take the thing on the bottom and just color it blankish. Blank. Yeah. It should work tad better. It's kind of complicated to do, but once you really get it how you want it, it's so much easier. Hold on. I usually like scale it so that it looks a tad better. Like for example, and I'll just select this and this, everything that's not the red part, and just delete that, and there we go. Now we've got some pretty good shading. If you want, you can like up the contrast or something. I don't really care. Your choice, your image. So yeah, that's a basic technique if you want. The next one is very similar. Let's delete that, but use the same red ball. Basically, the second one is very similar, except you can do it with a bit more colors depending on what you use. We're going to do the same shininess, kind of. Okay, so I'm going to add a new layer. Then I'm going to switch my colors to black and white. And so now on my second layer, I'm going to draw black on the bottom. Just black on the bottom. So I can get a good... Okay, fuck it. I'll just use that. And then fill that in. You're going to see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to use white on the top. Okay, then you want to Gaussian blur that. Oh god, that looks a bit bad. But it's better if you do the scaling way I sometimes do. And then just select the parts that are not the red inside, and then delete them from the shading layer. And then usually you're gonna wanna go into the layer properties, and then set the opacity. Depending on what program you have, this may be a bit more difficult than just this. And then you've got something that looks a lot like this. That's what you've got. It's actually pretty simple. My default preset for like drawing stuff. Let's actually delete everything. There, backspace. With my primary color on white, we'll do that. My brush settings are 7 or 8 for the width, and then I don't use any anti-aliasing. This is because if you use anti-aliasing, you're gonna see what I mean. Usually you can fix this by like making it on a transparent layer and then coloring under it, but as you can see, you get this white shit over here. You get the typical DeviantArt user, the iconic white edges, but I'd suggest no anti-aliasing because you could probably add it in on your own. It's somewhat easy. You just kind of have to make transparency and then make a ball, and like, let's just make whatever object. This will be an orange thing. And then just duplicate the layer and blur it a bit, like blur it by 1. Then lower the opacity, and it gives a bit more of an illusion of anti-aliasing, I guess. Not so much on the edges, but you can easily fix that by just, yeah, blurring it like that. Now we've got okay-ish anti-aliasing. I don't know why there's not an option for this by default, but you could probably find a plugin or something. I know I have a lot of plugins, so tell me if you find anything. So yeah, that's a basic part 1 of some nifty stuff you can do in Paint.net. I guess. I don't know. I just kind of winged this, so I hope you're good with this. Or I hope you liked this video.